bitch. It is what it is, there's some five-star dick. She a big old freak, it's a must that I hit. It's a hot girl summer, so you know she got it lit. Know she got it lit. Hot girl summer, so you know she got it lit, yeah.
Fuck you think you talking to, nigga? Fuck me, nah, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Dear fuck, nigga, still can't believe I used to fuck with you. Poppin' playing B's, cause I ain't playing to be stuck with you. Damn, I see you still kick it with them op bitches. I'm the only reason that your goofy ass got bitches. All them hoes wanna look like me, bitch, most likely. Only fucking you just to spite me. But please don't get it twisted, I ain't trippin'. I never put my faith in a nigga, bitch, I'ma die independent. If you was wondering.
We hear music all the time. It wakes us up, it motivates our workouts, keeps us company on our commutes. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is, music itself has the ability to affect our moods and our bodies in all sorts of ways. We nod our heads, we sway, we dance. Music can give us chills, even make us cry.
Music activates every area of the brain that we have so far mapped. In fact, there's no area of the brain that we know about that music doesn't touch in some way.
But what's behind all that? What exactly does music do to us?
To find out, I went through a whole series of tests designed to measure my responses to music. I met some kids whose brains may actually be changing thanks to those hours of learning, practice, and performing. Spoke with a therapist who used music to help former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords learn to speak again, and got a glimpse inside the brain of a 2-time Grammy-winning artist while he played. All to find out how music affects us. So what's going on when we listen to music? We visited the USC Brain and Creativity Institute, where I had my head examined, literally, to try to figure it out.
I'm going to go into this fMRI machine, a tiny tube will surround me, we'll get a baseline reading of my brain, and then I'm going to listen to some music, and we're going to see how my brain responds.
Just close your eyes, relax, and try and get into the music as best you can, okay?
And here's what we saw. These are scans of my brain. The areas in red are where my activity is above average, in blue below average, and as you can see, there's red activity all over my brain, not just in one specific area.
25 years ago, the idea was that language is in the left side of the brain and music is in the right side of the brain. But now that we've got better quality tools, higher resolution neuroimaging, and better experimental methods, we've discovered that's not at all right.
How does that play out in different regions of the brain?
When music enters and then gets shuttled off to different parts of the brain, it stops at specialized processing units in auditory cortex. They track loudness and pitch and rhythm and timbre and things like that. There's visual cortex activation when you're reading music as a musician or watching music. Motor cortex when you're tapping your feet, snapping your fingers, clapping your hands. The cerebellum, which mediates the emotional responses. The memory system in the hippocampus, hearing a familiar passage, finding it somewhere in your memory banks. Music is going on in both halves of the brain, the left and the right, the front and the back, the inside and the outside.
So what about a musician's brain?
To play a piece of music engages so many things: motor systems, timing systems, memory systems, hearing systems. There's all sorts of kind of brain activity happening. It's a very robust thing to play music.
I'm Alex Jacob Robertson. I'm Nathan Glenn Robertson.
We asked these 11-year-old musicians to tell us what's going through their minds when they play.
Some of the most important things are having good postures, getting the note right, legato, staccato. For the violin, you need to hold your hand at the right place, and you need to be in tune, and then you also have to have
The sort of peak moments of enjoyment are happening. Okay.
Matt Sachs, a PhD candidate at USC, wired me up to measure my physiological response.
So when I'm feeling that kind of emotional connection that has a physical manifestation, we'll see what my body is actually doing.
Exactly. All right, how was that?
That had a lot of them.
We got them all.
Now, full disclosure, back in the day, I played the cello, which might have something to do with why that particular song affected me. Nice hair. But it turns out the brain is at work here too.
We process the difference between this pathway that connects the auditory regions, which is on the side of the brain here, to the emotional regions. And we show that the tract actually that connects those two regions is stronger, there's more fibers in that region in the people who get chills.
Which means some people's brains might have better communication between what they hear and how they feel. The music itself also plays a role in Frisson. Sachs uses different songs in his lectures to see if students get it.
I'll say raise your hand when you get a
You turn on the light.
When former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords was shot in 2011, the left side of her brain was severely damaged, leaving her struggling to speak, a condition called aphasia.
Gabby, are you frustrated?
But to get an idea of just how powerful music's effect on the brain can be, watch this video.
You ready? This little light of mine, I'm gonna shine it.
That word that she had been struggling to say, light, came easily in song.
Why would she be able to sing a word when she's unable to say it?
What we know about the brain is that the left hemisphere controls language, and there are many other parts of the brain that have music access.
Music therapist Megan Morrow's job is to help patients use those other pathways to regain language.
Sometimes I compare it to being in traffic and you can't move any further, but you might need to exit and take a feeder road to get you to your destination. So music is basically like that feeder road to the new destination.
Like a detour. So we know that music can help us relearn things like speech by accessing alternative pathways in the brain, and that learning to play music can help strengthen brain connections. But what about making music?
So for me, music is like, it's the language of humanity. No matter where I go in the world, no matter, man, if I'm playing something,
come up with a new idea.
Travel, and we travel, trying to find.
So, music is so much more than notes on a page. It can change the way we think and speak and feel. But is there a limit to what science can tell us about music?
Just one
big role in order to maintain the cultural heritage, the musical, the theatrical, or whatever. You know, it's that whole cultural thing in India is very strong and powerful for so many years. And without this, there will be no India.
Those things to me is just it's a treasure, you know. It's more important than my house, than my money. Yeah, so I cannot find it again because those older musicians pass away, so you cannot ask them to sing again.
I play for people. I prefer to play for people whether it's a small group, a large group, or a huge hall of people. When I'm playing, I'm giving my culture to people.
And every time I'm with my family, play, relative, friend, I always see the happiness around. That's what we want.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know how it feels, but I don't know how to put it in the words. I can't think of anything that I've ever done that I don't associate with a certain song. So when I think about it that way, I think it also just, music describes the different phases I've gone through in my life.
Straight finding it love. Something told me it was over, babe. When I saw you and that girl talking, babe, something deep down in my soul said, go on and cry, girl. When I saw you and that same girl walking by, and I would rather be a blind girl, babe.
I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all chains still binding me. Yeah. Wish I could say all the things that I can say when I'm relaxed. I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. Don't leave me. How sweet it would be to find that I could fly.
Daddy's rich and your mom is good looking. So